Restorative yoga to support your menopause and beyond. I'm Lizzie Lasater. Once again, joining us today is Judith Hanson Lasater. Hi, Mama.
Hi, hello again, everyone.
Welcome to session 3, which is about chair shoulder stand. Let me pull up an image of this pose from Mama's book, Restore and Rebalance. Excellent resource. It's actually the book that the publisher picked for the cover, the image the publisher picked for the cover. Supported shoulder stand. What do you love about this pose for this phase of our lives?
Well, just looking at it, I just love the shape of it. It's like water running down a mountain and over the edges and down and out. It just aesthetically is beautiful. Chair shoulder stand is probably one of the poses I do the most and was really drawn to in menopause, beginnings of menopause, and found out later that so many of my cohorts, yoga teachers around my age, also found they were drawn to it. This is because one reason is because being upside down shifts your perspective, literally, physically, but I think also emotionally and psychologically and mentally. Because you are upside down, you have a different experience of your body and gravity, and that draws you inward. It stimulates an energy in the body, which is apana. There are two of these partner energies. There's a lot of other ones, but these two partner ones are divided from the diaphragm. So prana goes up from the diaphragm, it wants to move this way, and apana goes down. So when you turn upside down, you give apana a free rein to increase and go up. And apana is the archetypal female energy. So I can't prove this. I have my own experience, the experience of other people I trust, and traditional wisdom is this changes you in a way that puts what it does is it puts us in harmony with our own natural energies, not with the energy of caffeine or exercise or anything we use, sugar, whatever we use that stimulate us. This is a stimulation of coolness, of introversion, of archetypal feminine for whatever gender. It is shoulder stand is said to even out the hormones because hormones are the most powerful drugs ever. More than any man-made drug, hormones can change everything. And there is some research on this, but mostly here I'm going on my intuition. And I know as we were speaking, you were talking earlier, and we were speaking before about this internalization of how you experience this pose. And let's see it again while you talk.
Yes, for me, let me share my screen. For me, I'm 40. I'm very attracted to this pose right now. It feels like it's one-stop shopping because it fits, it offers me so many things that I'm desperately in need of or are in short supply in my life. The inversion aspect of it is extremely quieting to the nervous system, extremely quieting to my mind. I love that it's a back bend. I love that I'm hung. There's something about that kind of traction in the lower back, which I love that sense of feeling hung from the chair, while also somehow feeling supported from the chair, this physical support, which I need in my life and don't have enough of with two little ones and aging in-laws, aging parent, just all the dynamics of working mom that are going on. I want to be supported. This pose gives me that. And for me, also, there's something about the lightness of my legs, the way they just seem to float. And there's an effortlessness about this pose. I would love for my life to feel more effortless.
Good luck with that. So this is called in yoga tradition the queen pose. Shirshasana headstand is the king pose. In Shirshasana headstand, you can only see the world, but in this pose, you can only see yourself. So in this pose, when we practice it, we become a natural introvert. The brain goes very quiet, the eyes spontaneously close, and you lose, somewhat like Shavasana, There's a point where you begin to lose your curiosity about the external world and are content to dwell in the internal one. And this is what's so healing about this pose. Finally, most of the time we are using prana, we are moving, we are going outside ourselves, we are taking care of many people at the stage of our life, and we're usually last on the list. And so up and out, and asana classes are often taught these days about lifting up and moving out, and that's what our culture generally offers us. So this pose is about down. The brain it feels like your brain just drops to the back of your skull, and instead of your brain being prominent, your heart is prominent. Down is the direction that we need in perimenopause and menopause. Down, in, and back, as opposed to up, out, and forward. The front of the brain quiets, the back of the brain becomes more dominant. You can literally feel the shift. That's why this pose, for me, is one of the most, if at all possible, in some variation, maybe not the full chair, but elevating the pelvis above the head and the legs up, Viparita Karani. This pose is the center of the practice for perimenopause and menopausal women.
Okay, so you're just whipping me up in a frenzy of wanting to practice shoulder stand. Let's end with any cautions. This pose is not appropriate for you if you're pregnant. If you're, tell us who else this pose is not appropriate for, Mom.
Menstruating, if you're pregnant, you're menstruating, you have cervical issues, if you have digestive issues, GERD's disease, problems with your esophagus and your stomach. And please don't try to get into this pose the first time by yourself. You really need a proper chair that has been made, a yoga chair that has wide legs, it's very stable. You need help learning this from an experienced teacher, but it is worth the time and effort to learn. The other caution I would give you is I would give you about your life in general. If your inner wisdom says, listen to your inner wisdom. If you have a little doubt, do a very simple Viparita Karani, pelvis elevated, mimic this pose in a much less of a strong position. But because
you can find that here. You can find variations of the pose here. You can read more Mama's book, Restore and Rebalance. Check below for the link to find out about our big course on menopause and yoga. Last thing to say before we say goodbye, Mom?
Trust yourself first. Namaste.
Namaste.